got a bunch of guys on the team right now. Now we know that come cut day that a lot of those guys are no longer going to be on the team. They'll either be practice squad or they'll just be cut outright. Out of the guys that we brought in, we have Tulu Griffin on wide receiver, 5'10", 180 pounds. So he's an undersized guy out of Mississippi.
He's a speed guy.
Yeah, we got Ramel Keyton, wide receiver, 6'3". That's a little bit. Out of Tennessee. That's a guy that I'm intrigued about because at wide receiver we didn't really have any big guys.
He was a really underrated player. I have some things to say about Ramel Keyton, especially after he'll be in my video coming out on undrafted free agents. That's coming out later on this evening. So
sweet. So let's dive into him. What do you like about him? What do you, from your research in him, what did you find where his holes in his game are?
Absolutely, yeah. So let's start with the holes, right? Like, he's an undrafted free agent. So everybody goes like, why is he an undrafted free agent? So he's an undrafted free agent because he does have concentration lapses sometimes. He's got to kind of key in. You'll see those moments. And I think part of it is just because of that damn Tennessee offense, which if anybody scouts tape, they hate watching Tennessee offensive games because they really don't engage half of the field sometimes. They have two receivers running junk routes, and they will have sometimes two receivers running junk routes on opposite sides of the field. So it's like a bunch of plays where you're taking a play off, right? You know you're not going to be the target whatsoever. You're not even running a roll route. And then I don't think that's conducive to staying in the game. So that's part of it. The other thing is that while he can run precise routes, you've seen it kind of round stuff off, which I think, once again, may be a product of, having a bunch of routes where it doesn't matter what you're doing on some plays and then being asked to the next play, switch gears and act like it's a whole different ball game. I don't like that. I'll continue to probably say things I don't like about the Tennessee offense the more that we talk about it. But the other thing is that he just kind of was unlucky with who he played with. If you look at the receivers that have come out of Tennessee recently and who he was playing behind, Jalen Hyatt and so on and so on, he was always kind of like the number 2 or number 3 guy because the guys that he played with were uber talented NFL first day selection guys, right? I think he makes the team. I think he has a chance to do something like what we saw with Jacoby Myers. He's a pretty talented player, man. 6'3", 4'5" guy, good vertical, good hands. And when you watch him, his body control is just different. I think if you scout enough receivers, like you start to see it like a guy who's just kind of moves different, and he's one of those dudes. So I'm excited to see what he does. So
what do you think about Tulu?
Tulu's nice. I like Tulu. Yeah, Tulu's special because he not only is like a explosive player. I don't think his 40 time did him justice. I think he ran like in the 4.5 area, but I don't think that really does him real justice. He's a quick player who's probably faster than that 40 time, and he's played some running back. So he's a gadgety player. He can return kicks. So I think he'll make the team make that way, or at least the practice squad. I got him on the practice squad. I got Ramel making the team.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then let's obviously. So we're kind of going through some of these guys that were undrafted free agents, especially on the wide receiver because we didn't draft any wide receivers. Let's talk about running backs with Dylan Laube, which apparently that's the proper way of pronouncing his name is Laube. I learned that. Trying to actually get him on the show right now. I'm in touch with his agent, so we're trying to figure that out. I know they're starting their mini camp and stuff, but trying to get him on the show.
I love Dylan Laube. It's one of our better picks. We talked about, I think I brought up Will Shipley because I kept talking about how we need a back out of the backfield that's a real threat in order to kind of add that extra something to our offense. He's a real threat as a receiver is what I mean. The dude can line up in the slot and then go, like threaten safeties and corners. It's like 68 receptions, I believe, as a senior, as a running back. You turn on the tape and it's explosive play after explosive play. He's running away from guys at that level. Another guy who I'm pretty sure didn't like do a bunch of track practice before he ran his 40 and then ran a 4.5. So I'm not sure that's exactly indicative of how fast he really is. So we'll start to see that in the preseason. But man, you can do so much stuff with him. He's like, to me, I guess the best pro comp would be the running back that just left San Diego, the little guy that Telesco wouldn't bring back and pay. His name is
Eckler.
Eckler, yeah, Austin Eckler. I think he plays a lot like Austin Eckler.
Just want to thank today's sponsor, Earth Elixir, a proudly owned and operated company by a Raiders lifelong fan. And Earth Elixir gives you all of the natural supplements you could ever want to help you sleep better, feel better, and even increase your natural testosterone without having to do TRT. So click the link down in the description and get 15% off just for the Raider D family.